wear what Enoch wore. And Enoch will not be the only person that God will carry. It's a technology of waiting. So when Elijah entered where Enoch entered, the same way Enoch was traveling by the wind, Elijah began to travel by the wind. So much so that Obadiah told him, you want me to go and call the king so that God will carry you? Elijah doesn't travel with cars. It was popular. And the day he wanted to leave, all the prophets were aware. And he walked through 4 nations. He came to the Jordan, and the Jordan parted. The same Jordan that God parted for more than 5 million people. What God can do for a nation, he can do for one man. It's where you are standing in the spirit. Have you not heard that one man is bigger than a nation? He said that same year Isaac sowed in the land, and Isaac reaped 100-fold reward, and he became exceedingly great that the Philistines envied him. They came to him and said, please depart from us, for you are bigger than us. The same thing God does for a nation, he can do for one man, because one man can become a nation. If I enter in the spirit and I connect to Abraham, I become an Abraham in my generation. You don't know how spiritual these men live their life to be champions. You think it's religion. The Bible said Abraham went to defeat 5 kings, and it took only 318 trained servants, not warriors, servants. Why would you have that audacity? Do you know how many legions a king carried? And he said when Abraham came, he said Abraham divided himself among his servants. So they became 319 Abrahams. You don't know this man. You say they are Old Testament. Everything they walked in is a dimension of Christ. There's no dimension of the spirit that is apart from Christ. The only thing is that they saw the crucified Christ before the foundation of the world. You saw the crucified Christ in Nazareth. All of us are walking by the same economy. Abraham divided. How do you divide yourself? Do you know what that is? He splitted himself like mitosis, and he put himself inside people. So one of them is a nation, because God said, I will make you a father of nations. With 318 men, there was no record that one of them died, because all of them is Abraham. When you begin to wait on the Lord, you enter your tribe. I used to pursue men of God for impartation until I knew the technology. I say, now so they work. Sometimes I lock myself for 8 months. Yes, I said 8 months. I didn't say 8 days. You don't know how to run. In 1 year, I've spoken to more than 7 million people. I came out of 8 years of waiting. I didn't come here because you like me. You have no choice. Do you know how many preachers are in Nigeria? How do you think you can compete? My name was echoed into your ear, and the leadership, when they sat down, they could not. Even if I say I'm not coming, you will beg. This is not pride. I'm teaching you how to walk in dominion. Because when you enter your tribe, men can look at you and they are seeing Catherine Kuhlman. Yes. Suddenly, they look at you and they see Benson in the house. You know why? His shield is on the neck of David. And when you entered, you wore it. You wore it. So you are walking on your campus, you are like an angel among men. The thing is that you have entered your tribe. That's what John did. He knew that he was supposed to be the voice of the one crying in the wilderness. But that's not enough. He needed to come in the spirit of Elijah. So he left. The Bible said in Luke chapter 1 verse 80 that he was in the wilderness until the day of his showing forth. And when John the Baptist was coming out of the wilderness, what they saw was Elijah. I stopped pursuing men. There's nothing wrong with impartation, but if it will take my time, I rather spend it in God's presence. Because there was a time I waited in the spirit until a hand came into my room and pulled me out of my room and took me back in time, and he stood me at a door and I was watching. And this was Reverend Chris Oyakhilome at the age of 17, and he said, watch his life. Reverend Chris, when he was 17, I was not yet born. How come? I went back in time. God wanted to connect me to a dimension. And I saw how he locked the door, spent time alone, studying books, praying for nations. When I came back, I don't need to meet him to teach me how he made it. If I sustain the discipline, I will walk in the same dimension. You don't know. You can enter a tribe today. You will bring Benson in the house and back to your campus. When you roar, it's the same impact, the same output, because you mastered the technology of waiting. This is where men become invincible and immortals. When John entered the spirit, he said, I was in the Isle of Patmos for the testimony of the word of the Lord and of his kingdom. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard a voice behind me like as of a trumpet, and as I turned. That is a migration from flesh to spirit. As I turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands, and it continued. And the second time the voice came, he said, a door opened in heaven, and as I entered, migration. When they carried him around heaven, he saw the angel shining. He wanted to worship him, and the angel said, no, I am your brother. You are walking on earthly corridors, I'm walking on heavenly corridors, but we are one. That means if John enters a service, he can invoke his brother. You don't know. Your advantage is not in your charisma. Your advantage is in the mountain of Zion. When you enter there, you partner with your light. Some of you are running after people, wasting time. You don't know that you are the next after Babadola. You have no idea that that mantle is vacant. The dealings that God is putting you through is because this is the only path through which you can enter that mantle. They can lay hands on you 10 times, it will not confer a mantle. Mantles are determined by consecrations and dealings. So God has earmarked 10 people and is teaching them the way of that mantle. And this one comes today, you go and fornicate, you come and say, Lord, I'm sorry. He will forgive you, but you'll be a child. The person that satisfies the claims of divine justice will come to a point where that mantle will download. So you can start out as 17 people, but at the end of the day, only one person will